Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my reaction videos. So today I'm going to be reacting to the new Death Battle. Usually I'd say the new Death Battle that just came out, but it didn't just come out. I was on vacation, and I wasn't able to react to it until I got home. I literally got home today, like I think less than an hour ago. So I'm really excited to react to this. It's Aang versus Edward Elric. This has been out for, I think, almost 2 weeks now, so I am pretty late with this. I've been trying to avoid spoilers. I think there's a chance I might have gotten one, and it's a pretty big one. It's basically who wins. I'm not sure if that was true or not, or if I'm misinterpreting it. I didn't really take a good look at it at all because I wanted to get rid of it as soon as I realized, oh, this might be a spoiler. But I think I might know who wins, but we'll get into that a little later. Regardless, I'm still really excited for this fight. Again, it's just because it's been on my mind for a long time because I haven't been able to see anything about it. Like, I haven't been able to see a review about it because, again, it would spoil it and everything like that. Despite that, though, I really don't know that much about these characters. Edward Elric, I know he's from, is it Full Metal Alchemist? Is that what they call it? Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know that, really. I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is. And I don't really know anything about Edward's capabilities. And when it comes to Aang, I know a little bit, but not too much. I know he's like, the Avatar, the last Airbender, although I think he has control over all the elements now, is that right? Maybe, maybe not. And I know he's a really good fighter. So I don't really know who's more powerful between the two, because I know nothing about Edward. But again, I think I might know who wins. So I don't really want to say, who I think is going to win going into this, because I feel like that would cloud my judgment since I don't know anything about one of these characters. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I'm going to listen to all of the analyses and everything that they have to say about these characters, and then after that, I'm going to pause it before the fight starts, and then I'm going to say who I think is going to win, and I'm going to completely disregard the potential spoiler that I have. So, yeah, and another thing is that I'm doing this on a new phone. I think the camera's a little better, or the face cam, but in terms of the actual framing, okay, first of all, it's not in the correct frame yet, I don't think. I have to wait until I play it before I can do that. But also, there might be some mistakes or stuff like that I might have made while setting this up. So this is, I guess, it's kind of like a test run, but we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Have you heard of hymns? They're all about making you look and feel good.
The framing
Thanks
is
to
okay
science,
here,
boldness can
because
be
I could
optional.
zoom in
Because
my phone's
hymns
a lot
is here to
bigger
help.
now.
4hymns.com is your one-stop solution
like it's a
for
lot
hair loss,
longer.
skincare, and
So
sexual wellness
I
for
think
men.
I set this up
started
correctly.
with a complete hair
It would
kit
look
for
really
just
weird, I
$5
know,
right now while supplies last
with
and subject to doctor approval.
crap.
See their website for full details and safety information.
As a
This
thing,
could
because
cost
I can't
hundreds if you went to another doctor or pharmacy.
So
go to 4hymns.com
so yeah, hopefully this works out okay. Or maybe it'll look like really weird, like there's a big black box around it. That could potentially happen. So yeah, we're just gonna see how it goes. And also, link in the description to the original video.
The elements make up every aspect of the world we live in, and no average person can tame them. But somehow these kids can master them with a vengeance. Like Aang, the Avatar, and Edward Elric, the Full Metal Alchemist. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
The animation looks pretty cool.
Water.
I gotta pay attention here.
Earth. Fire.
And air.
Heart. Once the 4 nations lived in harmony, and some of their citizens could even learn to bend their nation's element. But only the Avatar could master all 4, and it's their duty to protect the balance between these nations. And since there's always gotta be an Avatar around, a new one is born whenever the last one dies. But everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Attempting to conquer the other 3 nations, the Avatar would inevitably be their greatest obstacle. Man, they'd even go after a kid? Living among the air nomads, Aang was an energetic and dutiful 12 years old when he learned of his destiny. He was the newest incarnation of the Avatar. But he totally wussed out, ran away from home, and got frozen in ice for 100 years. What the hell? That's not what I'd do if I found out I was an awesome elemental badass. I'd definitely find a way to make money off that. Boomstick, he's 12. but running away actually saved his life, as the Fire Nation knew the next Avatar would be an air nomad and slaughtered them all in a horrific surprise attack.
Got it.
But the poor kid wouldn't be stuck in ice forever. He was eventually rescued by some new friends and began his quest to learn the other elements and save the world. And as an air nomad, he can really bend the wind to his will.
He can use air bending to create whirlwinds and tornadoes or slice through solid stone.
And he can fly! Whee!
Well, it's not exactly flying, Boomstick. What he actually does is manipulate the air currents to keep aloft. That's why he carries a glider, complete with snacks.
Oh, well, I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Whatever, if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. Or I guess the flying avatar guy.
But ducks actually can fly. Anyway, Aang can use air in pretty much every aspect of his life. Like for shields, increasing his speed, improving agility, adjusting his body temperature, and even focusing his breath to use as an attack.
After he learned waterbending from Baku and Katara.
Like for shields, increasing his speed, improving agility, adjusting his body temperature, and even focusing his breath to use as an attack.
After he learned waterbending from Baku and Katara, Aang can make whips, knives, and literal tsunamis. Hey, I can do that too. Just give me a pool and watch this cannonball fly. Does that mean I'm a waterbender?
Sure. Waterbenders can also manipulate steam and ice.
Just like how I, the great waterbender Boomstick the Wet, will use my powers to swim through this frozen block.
You what?
Yep. Waterbending 101. You can be jealous.
Oh wow, I'm just bursting with envy.
Bending powers activate!
Oh, I see what
Ha! Success!
Like airbending,
Congrats,
waterbending requires a nearby source of water to use, like a pond or a filled bottle. The same goes for earthbending, which Aang learned from his mentor Toph.
Earthbending is all about throwing rocks at people and a bunch of other cool stuff, like making walls and earthquakes and causing the ground to swallow you up, which is kind of creepy, actually.
Last but certainly not least, Aang learned the art of firebending from his longtime rival, Prince Zuko. Unlike the other arts, firebenders can actually create fire to use at will.
Firebending is so goddamn powerful, it's even got the deadliest bending technique of all, shooting lightning.
Well, only the most advanced firebenders can cast lightning, which is usually an instant kill move. While Aang never learned the move itself, he has learned how to redirect it through his body.
But even after learning the four elements, Aang got to meet one last master bender,
who taught him the art of manipulating a person's life energy, the purest form of bending.
It's super dangerous though, and one mistake could tear up Aang's soul.
And with it, Aang defeated the Fire Lord and brought peace to the world at large.
Well, with that and with his super form, the Avatar State.
In the Avatar State, Aang's bending abilities grow immensely powerful. This is because the Avatar State lets Aang draw upon the power and wisdom of all previous Avatar incarnations. Though it is extremely risky, as dying while in the Avatar State ends the cycle of reincarnation permanently.
Why would he care if he's dead anyway? Whatever, the coolest thing about the Avatar State is it makes you glow, like this. Behold!
How are you doing that?
Oh, I drank a bunch of glow sticks.
You need to go to the doctor, like right now.
My liver's processed way worse than this.
Hey, does anyone have a charger? We're dying.
Yeah, just down here.
Well, with or without the Avatar State, Aang is plenty powerful. He has the ability to move gigantic stone columns and even carve canyons around an entire city.
Not only has he survived hits from earthbending kings and massive explosions, he threw this gigantic column of rock at the Fire Lord.
To get the column's mass, we compared Aang's height against it and determined it must weigh 9,500 tons.
Aang's super fast too. With airbending, he can run on water.
Sorry, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Just
Entire city.
Not only has he survived hits from earthbending kings and massive explosions, he threw this gigantic column of rock at the Fire Lord.
To get the column's mass, we compared Aang's height against it and determined it must weigh 9,500 tons.
Aang's super fast too. With airbending, he can run on water.
Which, given his size, requires a movement speed of well over 67 miles per hour.
He used airbending to block a giant column-destroying explosive attack from the best-named character on the show, Combustion Man!
And he's proven he could redirect lightning from the Fire Lord himself. Taking into account the distance between them and how far Aang's arm had to move to catch the lightning, he would have to react at least 155 times faster than sound.
He is pretty unused to violence, though. I mean, he's a vegetarian pacifist for crying out loud. But while he may seem like just a kid, Aang still saved the world and led it into a peaceful future. To him, bending is elementary.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear.
Okay.
Alchemists of old once tried to turn lead into gold with not great results. But in the country of Amestris, the ancient science of alchemy is actually possible by using the Earth's natural energy to reshape the molecular structure of various objects.
And by drawing a circle thingy.
A transmutation circle, which most alchemists use except for the youthful prodigy, Edward Elric.
Oh, what a little badass!
Careful, Boomstick, he's a bit touchy about his size.
Hey, if I lost my mom like he did, I'd get mad at the little stuff too. But Ed and his brother Alphonse figured they could bring her back with alchemy. So they went for it, but things went south real fast. You know how people say they'd give an arm and a leg for something? Well, Ed literally did, and poor Al lost his whole body. Luckily, Ed managed to stick his brother's soul in a suit of armor, but still, yikes.
This horrible experience has forever marked the two brothers. No one is meant to transmute the human soul, and the boys were lucky just to escape with their lives.
But he got something good out of it, like super secret knowledge, including how to do alchemy without a circle thingy. He just has to clap instead. So, worth it?
With these new abilities, Ed and Alphonse began their quest to restore their bodies. Specifically, they sought the incredible power of a Philosopher's Stone, believing it to be their only chance. Eventually, Ed joined the military, and thanks to his amazing potential, he was named by the Fuhrer the Full Metal Alchemist.
What? Adolf Hitler?
Nah, it's just Bradley. He's okay. Until he isn't.
Spoilers! Also, since Ed lost a couple limbs, he got them replaced with automail. Kinda like my leg.
Automail is made from incredibly durable metal, ranging from his original steel one, to a gas-powered one, to his best version consisting of a mix of aluminum and carbon. Apart from being durable metal prosthetics, Ed's automail limbs function just like normal ones. He can even reshape his arm as a weapon.
So he can turn it into swords and saws and stuff, increase its durability by hardening its makeup, or turn it into an umbrella. Truly a limb of many talents.
But at the end of the day, Ed's true talent lies not in sword fighting or umbrella holding, but the art of alchemy.
He can do all sorts of crazy things with all the elements. He can basically make anything he wants, like spears and shields.
So long as he follows the rule of equivalent exchange. Anything created with alchemy must have a source of equal value, and cannot be made fundamentally different. For example, lead can be molded into a statue, but it cannot be turned into water. Other than that, there are three principles needed to use alchemy well. Comprehension,
which means you gotta understand what the thing you're using is made of.
Destruction,
breaking stuff down.
And reconstruction,
putting stuff back together.
Ed is only limited by the materials at hand and his imagination. At his full potential, he can do almost anything. He can purify water, create ammonium gas from ammonium nitrate, repair entire houses, and transform a gun into a trumpet.
Don't you ever try and do that with any of my guns. Anyway, Ed's also learned destruction alchemy, which does exactly what you think it does, make a big ol' kaboom. Ed's used it to destroy stuff like automail, but it can also be used to explode people's heads.
So, using destruction alchemy, Ed should be able to destroy something like this on a molecular level.
Or you could just do that.
Anyway, with all of his abilities, Ed has done some incredibly impressive things.
Not only has he blocked gunfire from a Gatling gun after it started firing, he's dodged a pistol from nearly point-blank range, and his automail arm even took a bite from a lion-headed chimera. It was totally fine.
Assuming this chimera has a similar bite force to that of a real lion, that means Ed's arm stood up to a force of 1,000 pounds per square inch.
He's created a gigantic cannon and then survived that cannon exploding while he was standing on it. And then he survived being on top of a huge boulder exploding too.
We can measure the boulder's explosion against Ed's size to get an approximate energy output. With a radius of 36 feet, this blast must have been equivalent to over 100 tons of TNT.
How's that for equivalent exchange, bitches? He also survived an explosion that took out most of a 10-story building.
Even apart from being tough, Ed has shown considerable strength when using alchemy.
Like when he created a gigantic golem to crush his opponent.
By measuring the size of the stone golem's thumb, comparing it to the size of the average human's thumb, and using that scale to estimate the size of the golem, that gives us an estimated weight of over 3,000 metric tons.
All this without any Philosopher's Stone, because it turns out those things are really, really messed up.
Right. Philosopher's Stones are extremely powerful and can be used in many different ways. Kimberly the Crimson Lotus Alchemist, for example, used one to create a massive explosion equal to 157 kilotons of TNT. However, it turns out that these stones are composed of imprisoned human souls. So Ed and Al vowed to avoid them on principle. Although Ed can boost his alchemic power in a similar manner by drawing on his own life force, increasing his potential at the cost of shortening his lifespan. But that's what Ed ultimately had to learn, what it truly means to let something go. And so he found another way to revive Al's body, sacrificing his own power for the sake of family.
Aw, what a nice guy. But all in all, so long as Ed knows what he's trying to transmute, he's an amazing force to be reckoned with.
Now let's go home. Together.
Hey, does anyone have a charger? We're dying.
Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, thanks to Blue Apron, I've become a food vendor.
By now, you've probably
Feeling like a battle. That's blueapron.com/battle.
Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Pause. Okay. So, here's what I'm thinking right now. In terms of speed, I'm pretty sure Aang has the advantage. I know, I'm going right into the advantages. I think Aang has the advantage because he was able to move, 155 times the speed of sound. That's really impressive compared to, just dodging gunfire. Like, that's something we see often, on Death Battle. That's not something too impressive. I know lightning, we see that on Death Battle too, but, in order to dodge a bullet, you don't have to move 155 times the speed of sound. I think, the most impressive, generally I find that, when they say, oh yeah, you dodged a bullet or whatever, they move around twice the speed of sound or something. But even if we highball that to say, 10 times the speed of sound, unless I'm missing a better feat that he had in terms of speed. But, if we do that, then that means, he's, Aang is still over 15 times faster. That's a big difference if you ask me. And then what else do we have? In terms of durability, this one is really awkward to me because they said that Aang had survived explosions. And they said that he'd survived, impressive things or whatever. But they didn't actually give any numbers for the explosions. Whereas when it came to Edward, they gave him, an explosion, for that boulder blowing up, which was 102 tons of TNT. And they said that the golem, what did it hit with it? It hit with something in metric tons. And again, this is something where, it's a different unit of force, and the whole 1000 PSI, another unit of force. So it's really hard for me to compare these numbers together because I don't know all the conversions. This isn't quite as bad as when they give a ton of numbers for one character and no numbers for another, because in that it's just why the heck are we even doing this? But still, it's hard for me to judge. And I guess I prefer this because, it's not obvious, but at least they're still giving me good information. But since I'm learning about these characters for the first time, or basically, Edward for sure, and a little bit of Aang too, it's a little difficult. The thing is, though, they said that Aang was able to throw a boulder, which was with 9,000, was it just tons of force? I know tons of TNT and tons of force are not the same, but still, that was 9,500 tons of force, unless I'm getting the unit wrong too. And then, with the golem, see, here's the thing that really, like, what am I trying to say? Both of them are kind of limited depending on where they're fighting. The thing is, for Aang, he can generate fire. He has energy bending, which makes him a lot more powerful, but it doesn't actually, like, suck away his life force, unlike, using the, what is it, the Philosopher's Stone or something, that Edward has. So I feel like even if it could cut off, the cycle of the Avatar or whatever, that's still, that's not gonna hurt him in the battle itself. Aang, I mean. And when it comes to, what he can use, he can probably, like, again, he can probably do energy bending. I forget exactly what that does, but he probably can do that. And he can do air bending because there's air everywhere, and he can generate his own fire. There's usually earth on the ground, so, I think he should be able to do that. It's really just water bending where it's really a matter of, is he going to be, near water or not. Regardless, though, that's like 4 bending types that he has, not including the Avatar state. So I think that's pretty good, in terms of what he can use. When it comes to Edward, though, I feel like Edward is a lot more limited because there's not going to be every single element around him at any given point, I feel, and he's not going to be able to turn any element into something completely different, unless, like, they said, like, they said he can't do anything, right? Like, they said that he can, he can't turn lead into water or something. But then again, like, lead is an element and water is a compound. So is that what they meant? That you can't turn elements into compounds? You can just turn any element to any other element? I guess that would make him pretty versatile. And we've seen he can do creative things. But I feel like, again, depending on any certain location, I feel like Edward would be a lot more limited. Maybe I'm getting that completely wrong and I'm completely misreading the characters here. But I feel like that's what it is. That Edward is going to be a lot more limited than Aang. Because Aang has 4 bending types I feel like he can use basically whenever he wants. And when he gets into the Avatar state, even if he can't use water, I feel like that's going to give him a good advantage. And I do believe he is faster, and it did seem like he was stronger too. It's really just durability where I feel like Edward is superior to Aang, and it might give Aang a bit of a challenge, but in general, and especially the whole life sapping thing, like, that's really bad, I feel. That's not going to help him in the long run. So I feel, again, Avatar state versus the Philosopher's Stone increase thing, I feel like Aang just has the advantage. If it comes to that, I feel like Aang is going to win. And I feel like, really, Edward only has, like, one advantage, which is durability. Again, I could be completely misreading everything, but this is what I think. So that's what I'm saying. Aang is going to win this death battle. So let's go. I'm excited for the fight. So it's like a 3D background.
Sorry, Momo. You're just too little.
Little? Who are you calling a pipsqueak, you stupid hairless kid?
Nobody?
Even before.
I'll show you!
That was cool.
There are actually a lot of advantages to being short. Like, you'll never hit your head on door frames, and,
I'm still growing!
Now I gotcha.
No, that's a fake.
Oh no! I'm sorry!
A classic misdirection. That's advantage Elric! Ha! Damn it! How's this for small?
Oh, okay.
What kind of alchemy is that?
I know that's not before, but that was cool.
Okay, no more clappy magic. No, my cabbages!
if that worked.
No, it didn't work. Here we go, Avatar stage.
This ends now. At least I'm taller than you. You left me no choice.
Nice
Looks
words
like
to
Ed
end.
didn't have a leg to stand on. Or arm, I guess.
Ed may have been more quick-witted and inventive, and he certainly had more combat experience. But Aang's bending abilities were far more versatile and readily available than combat alchemy.
Yeah, it had cool stuff like cannons and gun trumpets, but Aang was fast enough to react to lightning, which is way faster than dodging a measly bullet.
Recall how Ed survived an explosion that destroyed most of a 10-story building. By examining the size of the building and thus the volume of the conical explosion, this blast must have equaled about 30 kilotons of TNT.
That's cool, but Aang did way more when he carved up a circle around that city in Avatar State.
The force to blast such a huge ravine around the city of Udao was a massive undertaking. By measuring the width, length, and depth of the affected area compared to the size of the city, we found it would take almost 160 kilotons of TNT to pull that off.
More than 5 times greater than Ed's best durability feat. So Aang definitely had the stuff to crush Ed's automail arm and the rest of him.
Granted, Ed could reach this sort of power by sacrificing his life force. Remember Kimbley's explosion, the one empowered by a Philosopher's Stone, a blast worth 157 kilotons of TNT? That's almost identical to Aang's feat, and theoretically, Ed could have been capable of this level of power. Theoretically. However, a Philosopher's Stone uses many souls, while Ed could only draw from his one. Not to mention, drawing from his own life force meant his power-up had a very short and dangerous duration limit compared to the Avatar state, which has no such limit. But even so, Ed's tactics and creativity kept him in the fight, yet the Avatar's speed, power, and versatility was too much for him. Aang may be a pacifist in canon and would hardly kill anyone, but unleashing his full power is a sight to behold.
Just when Ed thought he had the hang of it, he alchemist the mark.
The winner is Avatar Aang. Thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle. If you want the battle music for yourself, you can get it by clicking the link down below.
And if you'd like to see some more battle and death, make sure to click the link over there.
That's right.
And, just to keep you guys in the loop, I think I've already told you guys this, but I won't be able to react to this one immediately either because I'll be at an overnight camp for a week, so I won't be able to react to it for about a week, for half a week after this comes out, so I apologize for that, and I really hope this video turned out okay, based on the formatting and everything like that, but regardless, again, if you want to hear my thoughts on this fight, go check it out, it's on my channel, description, everything like that, but yeah, now let's talk about, Aang versus Edward. I think for the most part, I got the stuff correct, I'm a little disappointed they didn't go into Aang's own durability, or at least I didn't really see that they did too much, because I thought that Aang would have been powerful enough to overcome the durability that Ed had. Like, I wasn't really thinking that was going to be too much of an issue for him, but I was really hoping they would go more into how durable Aang actually was, because I wanted to see who was more durable in general, but clearly they didn't really do that. If they did do it, they didn't do it too much, but that's alright. And in terms of everything else, I was right about the speed, but I knew I was right about the speed, and, I did think, there was things that were more readily available to Aang, because again, like, out of all of his bending options, like, he just had more things that would certainly be readily available to him. He was fast enough to dodge a lot of the stuff that Ed had, and yeah, like the whole Philosopher's Stone thing, I wouldn't have been able to put that together. Did they even mention the 157.7 kilotons thing? If they did, I completely missed that, or I forgot about it. But yeah, that actually surprised me when I saw they were similar numbers. But yeah, if his stone is actually like less powerful than other stones, like that does make a big difference, especially when it's sapping away your own life force. Like, that puts you in a pretty bad position, if you ask me. And yeah, the whole pacifism thing, like, I get that they brought that up or whatever, but, I get why they brought it up, but still, I wish they just kind of moved away from that. Like, pacifism, it makes a difference if it means your combat experience is lacking. And I think that it did kind of do that here. I was referring actually more to Beast versus Goliath when I was thinking about that, with Beast's pacifism. But when it comes to, Aang, I know he also had less combat experience, but, he is more powerful and just he would win a fight if they fought. If they were fighting to the death, he would win. That's what this show is about. If they were to fight to the death, who would win? That's why when people say, like Batman doesn't kill, it's like this is a fight to the death. This is a hypothetical fight. If they were to fight to the death, who would win? If you were talking about, Batman doesn't kill, so Captain America would win. That's like saying, well, Captain America doesn't kill unless he has to. Like, he's not a killer. So that doesn't really make too much sense to me. Yes, it's a big thing that Batman doesn't kill, but superheroes don't kill when they fight people, generally, unless they really have to, or it's like a mistake. So, yeah. Anyway, that's like a little rant of mine. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, the point is, I'm happy I got a lot of the information correct. I was worried I wasn't picking up on too much, and I probably still didn't. But yeah, these characters both seem really cool. I'm happy I learned a lot more about Edward, because that's like Full Metal Alchemist seems pretty cool. And the animation was fun, was nice to look at. Again, I could have gone a little longer, but that was fine. I honestly thought the length was pretty fine. The analyses were pretty funny, even if I probably didn't get most of the jokes. I still thought it was pretty funny. And yeah, overall, I thought this was a solid episode. If you guys were wondering, yes, my spoiler was that Aang had won the fight, but honestly, I completely forgot about that midway through, and I had no idea who was going to win at that point. So yeah, I'm really happy that I was right about it, and I'm happy everything worked out, and it was a good fight. It was a good video. I really enjoyed it. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Who do you think should have won? Let me know down in the comments below, because I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say. And if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a huge like. I always appreciate the likes. Comment down below what you thought of it, what you thought of the video, what you thought of the reaction, anything like that. And if you guys could subscribe to my channel, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. But regardless, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.